So you're thinking about creating an online course, right? Putting your knowledge out there, maybe making some money in 2025.
Yeah, a lot of folks are.
And you've probably heard of Udemy.
It's one of the biggest names out there.
Huge platform. But is it actually a good way to go about this whole online course thing these days? Should you use Udemy in 2025?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Well, we're going to take a deep dive today and really figure that out.
Get into the nitty-gritty.
We've got some insights into how Udemy makes money.
The revenue model, how much instructors are actually earning.
How many students are actually on the platform?
The pros, the cons, the whole 9 yards.
So by the end of this, you'll have a really solid understanding of what it actually means to be a Udemy instructor in 2025.
Whether it's right for you.
All right, so first things first, right? The big question. How does Udemy actually work when it comes to the money? What's their revenue model like?
So Udemy's revenue model is actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, fill us in.
So if a student finds your course directly through Udemy, through their website, their marketing, all that,
Yeah.
Udemy takes a 50% cut of the sale.
50%. Okay.
But if you bring a student to your course through your own efforts, you keep 97%.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a big difference.
Yeah, so there's a lot of incentive to kind of build your own audience outside of Udemy.
Makes sense. So what are the earnings actually looking like then?
Well, based on the latest figures, new instructors on average are seeing somewhere between $20 to $200 a month.
20 to 200 a month.
Yeah, pretty wide range, right?
Yeah.
It really depends on the course, how niche it is, how new it is, all that.
So on the higher end, for people who've been doing it a while, they've got a good system going.
Now instructors who've got a few popular courses under their belt, they're engaging with their students, they could be making upwards of $5,000 a month.
Wow. Okay, so there is some serious potential there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, and another thing that Udemy's known for, right, is just the sheer number of students on their platform. It's huge.
It's absolutely massive.
What is it, like 70 million learners worldwide?
Over 70 million, yep, from over 190 countries.
So yeah, there's a lot of people you can potentially reach.
And that's a huge draw for a lot of creators, right?
Right, they don't have to worry about finding their own audience at first.
It's already built in.
So let's talk about the good stuff. What are the major pros of using Udemy?
So, as we just mentioned, the reach is probably the biggest one. You've got access to this enormous global audience right from the get-go.
Makes starting out a lot easier.
Yeah, plus Udemy is really user-friendly. Creating a course is pretty straightforward. You don't need a degree in web development to get your content online.
That's great. Makes it really accessible for pretty much anyone.
And then there's the marketing aspect. Udemy runs a lot of promotions and sales, so your course has the potential to get featured and seen by even more people.
So it's like they're doing some of the marketing work for you.
Exactly. They've got a huge marketing machine, and you get to benefit from that.
Okay, so there's definitely some upside. But what about the other side of the coin? What are the cons here?
Well, one of the big ones is the lack of control over pricing. Udemy sets the discounts and sale prices, and they can be pretty steep.
So even if you think your course is worth, say, $199,
They might end up selling it for like $13.99.
wow, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, and even when you bring in your own students, Udemy still takes that 3% cut.
Ah, okay.
And another thing to consider is email marketing. You're pretty limited in how you can connect with your students outside of the Udemy platform.
So building that long-term relationship, your own audience, it's a lot harder.
Right, it can be challenging. And to really make significant money on Udemy, you often need to sell a lot of courses.
Because of the pricing and the cuts and everything.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit. What's the big picture here? What's our takeaway for someone considering Udemy in 2025?
Well, the data tells us Udemy can be a fantastic starting point.
Yeah, dip your toes in the water.
Exactly. You can test out your course ideas, see if there's an audience, start building some momentum.
All without having to invest tons of time and money into your own website and marketing and everything.
Exactly.
But it sounds like we're saying it's probably not a good idea to just put all your eggs in the Udemy basket.
Right. For longer-term success, you'll probably want to have more control over your brand, your pricing, and your student relationships.
So having your own platform, your own website, that's important too.
Exactly. Think of Udemy as one part of a bigger strategy.
So for everyone listening out there, think about this. You want to share your knowledge online, but you've got choices to make. Do you go with the big platforms like Udemy where you get the reach, but maybe not the control? Or do you focus on building something completely independent? What's going to be most important to you in the long run?
It's something worth considering.
Definitely food for thought.